Boundaries show that you value yourself. I don't feel like everybody should just hug you anyhow. I say it's just a hug. Everybody should just call you pet names.
Don't just throw yourself at someone.
Exactly.
And then wonder why, because sometimes it might even seem like you're cheap and desperate.
When we were dating, my mom would tell me, even when I wanted to maybe come and sleep over at your house, it was your family house. It's your family house.
Okay.
When maybe we would have prayer meetings overnight
with other pastors. Gotcha.
Not
Okay.
to sleep. Not to
You
sleep.
know
And
that's
that's why I'm explaining it in detail.
What are the ways you can tell that someone is being led on? Maybe a guy is leading a lady on, or vice versa. What are the ways?
I think that we first of all have to define what a relationship is. A romantic relationship happens when two people verbally make a commitment to each other. So you are not dating somebody because they are calling you 5 times a day. You're not dating somebody because their mother likes you or their father likes you. You're not dating somebody because they use you as their screensaver, or they post you often on social media, or they use pet names for you. You are dating somebody when, if you're a girl, the guy asks you, I would like you to be in a romantic relationship with me, and you say yes. So if a girl has not said yes to you, newsflash, you're not dating her. And if a guy has not asked you out, newsflash, he's not interested in a relationship, because you might be making excuses for him. Oh, he's shy. Oh, he's this one. When he sees the person that he likes, it will shock you. It will shock you. So I think that we must value ourselves to the point where we don't waste our time in undefined relationships. I'm not saying that you just meet somebody after 2 months, you say, so define the relationship, what's going on? But I'm saying that sometimes time has passed. There's a lot of emotional investment, sometimes financial investment, investment of time. You need to get to the point where you have that conversation and say, okay, what are we doing? And that's if once you guys...
And even if you don't want to have the conversation, I think at least you must allow the person to earn your time and your trust. Don't just throw yourself at someone.
Exactly.
And then wonder why, because sometimes it might even seem like you're cheap and desperate if you have to define. I know it gets to that point sometimes, but especially for a lady, if you're quick to say, I don't think it puts you in a good position, even though it's helpful. But what I'm saying is, by the time the guy sees that he's only going to earn a certain amount of
your time when he's made a commitment.
Exactly. And I think that's an issue these days. Do you feel that people don't have walls these days, or maybe?
I think that boundaries are extremely important, and I think that the more as time passes, people don't really understand the value of boundaries. The fact that I have boundaries doesn't make me old-fashioned, or doesn't mean that my life is based on the law and not on grace. But when you place a certain kind of value on yourself, boundaries show that you value yourself. Boundaries show that you value your time. When we were dating, my mom would tell me, even when I wanted to maybe come and sleep over at your house, it was your family house. It's your family house.
Okay.
When maybe we would have prayer meetings overnight with other pastors.
Gotcha.
Not to sleep. Not to sleep.
And
that's why I'm explaining it in detail. So when we were dating, let me explain the full story. When we when we were dating, all the pastors used to live in pastor's house.
Okay.
And there were times maybe I would say, oh, Mom, I want to go, maybe we have a vigil. I want to go to pastor's house later. And she'll be like, no, you guys are not married. So you can go to church there, you can visit, but I don't want you sleeping in that house until you guys are married. And I didn't go, oh, my mom is so old-fashioned. I understood that she wanted me to place a value on myself. So I feel like not everybody, if you're talking to somebody several hours a day and you guys are not dating, what's not going to be the difference between that person and the person that you are dating? So I feel like, I'm not saying that you should do unnecessary shakara where nobody can have a conversation with you, but I feel like your time, your body, like, I don't know, I don't feel like everybody should just hug you anyhow. You might say it's just a hug, but everybody shouldn't just hug you anyhow. Everybody shouldn't just call you pet names. As a guy or a girl, everybody shouldn't have access to your...
Sometimes people feed off on unconscious or subconscious signals that they're giving. I think there's a signal that a guy or a girl can give, and you just come across as someone that you can take for granted.
Exactly. And I need to kind of mention this because many times people what I want to say. I think I have to mention what am I trying to say. The truth is that your value is not based on how much access people have to you, but how much access people have to you communicates the way you value yourself. So, for example, let me use this a totally different example, but I'm going to try and explain it very well. There are times when a lady will go to a guy's house and say, oh, I was raped because I slept over. It's not her fault that she was raped. Rape is always the rapist's fault. That one is guaranteed. But I also have to advise you as a lady, maybe you shouldn't be there. It's not your fault, but also understand that not everybody is honest. Not everybody has pure intentions. So if I leave my door open and a robber comes in, it's not my fault that I was robbed.
Even though robbery is wrong?
Yes, the robber is wrong.
And the robber should still be jailed?
Exactly. So,
but it probably could have been avoided
if I had locked my doors. Yes. So that I feel like when it comes to protecting your emotions, protecting your mind, is beyond saying, is it a sin to call a guy is it a sin to stay over at a guy's house? Is it a sin to call him unnecessarily?
Do you feel like many people know this, but there's this pressure not to come across as being too rigid?
Exactly. And I feel like you have to understand that your future, your emotions, your time, and your emotional health is worth being rigid about. You don't give everybody your ATM pin. You don't say, oh, I don't want them to think that I'm old-fashioned if I don't give them my ATM pin. When you value something, you protect it. If people take advantage of that, they are to be blamed. But it's also your responsibility to protect yourself. So I feel like it's a two-way street. So I'm not saying, that's the reason why I keep on putting the emphasis on the person who is being led on. You are the one with the responsibility to remove yourself from such situations and to protect yourself as much as possible. Not everybody, I can count the number of guys that hugged me, as in even before we started dating. Do you understand? So I feel like the way you present your body is important, the way you talk about it, the way you dress. I'm not saying that people should take advantage of it because you're dressing a certain way, but I am saying that there's just a way you communicate, you communicate your being and your presence. When it all comes down to
it, you can command respect.
Exactly.
You can command...
You're so good with words.
No, you're better. Stop it. All right.
Oh my God.
So anyways, now on a more serious note, listen, I want you to have a very solid esteem. I think that's what this all comes down to. You must have a solid esteem. It doesn't really matter what is popular, what your friends are doing. You must have a solid esteem, and I think that's very foundational, and that's how you can get to demand a certain level of respect from other people. All right, so now to the question, like, how do you know you're being led on?